Good day, and welcome to the Budding Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Bridges. In each episode, I cover my experiences, both good and bad, of being a business builder, as well as my journey through the crazy world of entrepreneurship to reach my goal of earning $10 million a year. Today, we're on episode 96, and it's been quite a while since I launched 95. In fact, the last podcast, number 95, was on January 3rd of 2022. Today is April the 2nd of 2023. So it's been a while, and I wanted to kind of get back into the podcasting here. I had planned on doing a lot more, but it was just one of those things that I had to let go of. And I'm glad I did. Because like all good things that you have when you're not really planning things, they seem to kind of work out in your favor if you wait long enough. So I wanted to take today, talk a little bit about what's changed with my companies, how things have kind of adjusted, because there have been a lot of changes in over a year. And also, I want to talk a little bit about where we're going with this podcast, which is going to change a tiny bit. But I wanted to kind of give you first this overview of some of these mini changes. First of all, back right after Thanksgiving of 2022, our data center in Salt Lake City was hit with a massive ransomware that went just screaming through the whole data center. Not just us, but everybody was affected. It was specifically done for the purpose of affecting Linux systems, which our Citrix environment used exclusively for all the management servers, as well as the firewall. Well, that data center was lost. And it took a couple of weeks to get a thorough understanding, a little over a week and a half actually, to get a thorough understanding of what had happened, how it affected us, and whether we could even move on from that point. The answer to the question was no, we could not move on. I pulled all the data out of the data center. I took everything, put it locally, dealt with it, moved the clients of my client to my competitor, and let them go ahead and do what they are going to do best. And at first, I was pretty devastated. This is something that I've been doing since 2010 or 2011, having things in the data center. And it made sense for all that time until this. And it was literally catastrophic. But like any good security person, I had a clear idea of what I was going to do in the event there was a catastrophic loss. And it was simply to move everybody to my competitor. That's not a bad thing because suddenly I could then focus on everything I was trying to do. So that was the L5 cloud side of things. It's still focusing on the cloud, but we're really just taking our time in revamping and looking at what is possible to move forward if we choose to. L5 Consulting is now focusing more on information management. It's less about the information management consulting and more about the information management itself. So that was not a major change, but it was enough to make everybody kind of go, okay. It gets us out of that whole IT managed service realm. We're not working in there, and I'm very happy for that. That's a model that some people are very successful with. A lot of people are having problems still. So L5 Consulting is dealing with information management. Now, sometime around when I went offline, I created Randy Bridges Consulting. This was going to not just put my name out there, but this was actually going to work with the business management side of things. Sorry, we got wind coming in here and blowing pretty good, and the roof is making a lot of noise. So if that's what you hear in the background, that's what it is. And Randy Bridges Consulting was dealing with business management, specifically entrepreneurial management. And out of that, I had already had another program that was geared around operational consulting. So once a company gets to a point, this gives them, a roadmap for being able to grow the business, grow the revenues, and anywhere between 3 and 10x the revenues and profit, which is a major thing. With that one program that came out, that became the platinum program of the B3 Accelerator. This is a 7-level 9 program system that literally focuses on the life cycle of the entrepreneur. So, for example, the essentials, the startup, and the silver really all focus at the entry-level executive realm. So a lot of people that are coming into my programs are going into the startup program and then following up with the silver program. In the business builder side of things, we had 2 more programs, the B3 Accelerator Gold and the Platinum. The Platinum was that original program on operational excellence. The Gold program is geared around 3 topics dealing with vision, strategy, and leadership. And we spend a whole part of one of these pieces dealing with negotiation, using the Jim Camp method of being able to handle negotiation. So we've integrated that into our program. And while Jim is no longer with us, we're still gaining the benefits of everything that he did for us. This is the business builder portion of things, the gold and the platinum. And in looking at the life cycle of the entrepreneur, there would be no way to really think about this other than to think about the entrepreneur themselves. And over this metamorphosis of all these different programs, designing and putting pieces together, I realized that the actual entrepreneur needs to be able to expand their entrepreneurial influence. This is where they start acquiring property and businesses and these types of things. And then finally, the last piece is the elite program. The first one was the diamond program. The second one is the elite. This is entrepreneurs helping other entrepreneurs to get them started down this same path. It's a type of a training program for entrepreneurs to build their own system and make sure that at the end of the day, they know what it is that they're able to provide to other entrepreneurs. All of the knowledge, all the experience, without being a quote-unquote consultant. You're really still in the entrepreneurial world. These are all major changes, but I've also incorporated 4 new books and something I call the Business Builders Checklist. This is geared strategically for that startup program that is designed to help people know what it is that a typical business should have in order to be able to grow. It starts right from the very beginning. What are your articles of incorporation or articles of operation? And all the pieces you need to open the account for your bank, all of the things that you need to start focusing on the systems, the email, the website, the marketing as a whole, and putting all of this together in such a way that it's a structured approach that can be adjusted depending upon what your company's trying to accomplish. So the Business Builders Checklist is a very valuable thing. I'll be sending out some emails for people that are on my list, giving them the option to be able to sign up for and download this. It's really a unique checklist. I've run it past many of the people that surround me, and they were like, wow, this has got all the pieces we need and then some, right? So that's the kind of the update on everything that's going on here on episode 96. what's been happening for a year, and tomorrow will be 3 months. I'm sorry I have not been able to get this podcast on a regular basis. After that point, it really was difficult. I really wanted to have the podcast to be keeping people engaged and keep them, happy to hear the material and going through. Moving forward, we're going to change a little bit. And the year plus that we focused on this is really going to now be pulling in information from all over the place, from all of the entrepreneurs that I study. And we're going to be borrowing pieces from each one of them, talking about them, specifically about the idea of essentially the consulting mindset and how a typical entrepreneur as a consultant themselves will be able to grow not just their business, but every business that they touch. This goes back to that concept that I had of the mission of making a difference for both the business, the customers, the employees, and everything they touch. So this is going to become the kind of the mantra of the Budding Entrepreneur podcast. I hope that is satisfactory for you. I really have missed everybody. There were many comments that came in. I really wish that I had been able to keep going, but now we're going to go ahead and do everything we can to release this once a week, just to begin hearing all the different pieces of the puzzle. We're introducing some new things, as you heard in the very beginning. We have a new theme song. We have, a new introduction. And so it gives us a chance to retool our thinking. I'm going to be borrowing from pieces and bringing them in. I still have the plan to interview a lot of people. These days, people are very, very busy, and the successful ones are the busiest. So planning out some of these sessions might be several months in advance. But I like to have the opportunity to be able to do this and to communicate with people and make it so that you can kind of absorb this. I'm putting all of this into transcriptions. I'm putting all of this into pieces of blogs and marketing articles. And the idea here, for me at least, is to continue presenting new and unique ideas for the business owner, to move them from being just your standard business owner to a business builder, and eventually to becoming an entrepreneur, making a difference in the world all around them. So, signing off here, this is Randy Bridges for the Budding Entrepreneur, wishing you the best in your health, your wealth, your business, your family, everything about you. Take care and have a great day.